Diego, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro? How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Dude, thank you for being on the show. You're like the third person I've had from the band, so it's
I
really an
know.
honor.
I was a little jealous, especially with Aru getting to eat all those wings.
Dude, Aru loved those wings so much that we joke about that. We're like, maybe this is the best wings you can ever get, you know?
Maybe I don't know. I still have yet to try them out, so I hope to be one of the judges someday.
We're gonna do some more interviews in person next year,
Okay,
and I promise you, man, like if we ever like connect, I will bring you those wings.
for
Of
sure,
course, we got to film it though.
for sure, man. The spicier the better. Can you handle spicy?
Like I want to say absolutely, but I'm pretty scared. Maybe would you be on Hot Ones, like the
I would
show?
totally do it. I love that.
Me
I love
too.
that show. I would totally do it.
Would you do the bomb or whatever? Is that how they say it? The
I'll
bomb?
try it, man. I've eaten some ridiculously spicy things. I love spicy. So to me, my spicy is really high tolerance for most people. So for example, Steven in the band, ketchup is spicy to him. He can't handle the heat. But like for me, when people ask me, is it spicy? And I say, they kind of like second guess, like, well, okay, his tolerance is too high. But if I
Yeah.
say something spicy, they're like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from that.
Okay, so did you ever do the one chip challenge and all that stuff? When it
We
was
did.
popular?
I don't know if you follow the band on TikTok, but
I may, yeah,
yeah, we did the one chip challenge, and dude, we just took one chip and we broke it into five pieces, and it was me, Steven, Aru, Fern, and I want to say there was someone else involved too. But yeah, we did it, and dude, you're supposed to eat the whole chip.
yeah,
We
yeah,
just
yeah. That's the
broke it,
thing.
and we wore gloves and everything to make sure we didn't get in our fingers. And dude, like I said, Steven, he couldn't handle it. He ran to the refrigerator. He grabbed a pint of half and half, chugged it, and like flew out of the bus. And we didn't see him for like 30 to 45 minutes. And we're like, where's Steven? He came back just crying, and he's like, I'm never doing that again. We're heading out in like 10 days, I think, with Fear Factory and Lacuna Coil. And I think there's a new chip challenge out there that we're definitely going to film it again.
Oh
Steve
yeah.
already said he's not a part of it, so I got to get a couple other guys.
He's not a part of it. That's so
Nah,
funny.
poor
Yeah.
guy. He would
Could
miss
you
it so
imagine if
much.
Stephen ate the whole chip? Like
We probably have to take him to the hospital. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's cool that you guys are about to go on tour. You said Fear Factory, right?
Yeah, we're starting out with a few dates, main supporting Fear Factory, and then us and Fear Factory link up with Lacuna Coil. I think like 5 or 6 days after.
Right on.
We do another tour with Lacuna Coil.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia, as you know, and the Lacuna Coil is going to be there. But man, I wish I want to see both. But I would love if Fear Factory would tag along. On
I think
maybe there may be on the Atlanta show. I don't. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. I don't know, but
check
I'm really
the
looking forward to it.
here. I'm just checking the schedule real quick,
Hey, there you go. I should have been more prepared.
dude. It's going to be Lacuna Coil, Fear Factory, and us at the Masquerade on the 13th.
That's amazing.
So I'm expecting you to see you there, and
Absolutely.
a handful of wings. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I have to yeah, to
Hey,
do it now.
let's do the chit challenge with you.
I'll do it, man. Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go. Let's
All
go.
right, cool, man. Yeah, Steven got nothing on me. Look, I'm talking a big game, but when you're into spicy foods and stuff on the bus, isn't that kind of risky because you can't do the only number ones, no number twos,
Yeah, no,
like
number twos, man. You know what? I've never had that problem, and I'm gonna knock on wood right now. Never had that problem. Um, I don't know anybody who's had that problem. So it doesn't. I don't really fear it so much.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Some of the guys, maybe the day after is not so pleasant, but I mean, thankfully, I was blessed with an iron gut, and
Yeah.
never been an issue.
Did you speaking of Fear Factory, I grew up loving them. Did you grow up like were you everybody loves Fear Factory, right? I mean, were you a
Yeah,
fan of them back in the day?
Totally, man. Totally. I always say if it weren't for Fear Factory, man, we wouldn't have bands like Korn or Biscuit back in the day. They predate them. And Dino,
Yeah.
there'd be no Gent, put it that way, without Fear Factory. And that's just my stupid opinion. It means nothing to anybody but me.
No, I agree.
Dino and Fear Factory, man, they were real predecessors in that sound. Mixing the melodic with the super heavy and the really mechanical drums and stuff like that. Like without Fear Factory, we wouldn't have a lot of music we have today.
Yeah, yeah, man. I agree 100%. And it's wild that, Ross Robinson was like working with them. Like, or I think he worked on the first album, which is kind of weird
Yeah,
to think about that early on. But yeah, those early Fear Factory stuff was definitely huge back in the day.
totally, man.
Um,
I mean,
what
how many
bands
guys
were you
were
in?
jealous of that right hand, going as fast as it was.
Oh yeah, so it's that right hand, right? So everybody says James Hetfield. So who's like the best right hand?
And to me, Metallica is like in its own realm, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, own
So
realm. Yeah,
it's kind of like we
100%.
had this discussion. We went to see Metallica here in LA both nights, and I was just like, man, there will never ever be another band like Metallica that just achieves that threshold of just amazing songs for as long as they've been doing it too. So it's like an untouchable thing. So they're in their own echelon.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I think I saw a post pictures of you guys there.
Yeah,
So, well, you were with them, right? I think so. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
cool.
And it was cool, being there with him. Aru's been, a mentor, a best friend to me, and sharing these things with Aru. It's really special, really cool. That him and I have been doing it so long together.
Did he connect with you like when you guys got together like in the earlier days or maybe in the early 2000 days?
He basically kind of just like took me under his wing and really taught me the ropes, and through thick and thin, he and I have always been, by each other's side. And, even in the previous band, it was, days off in Europe and we'd be out sightseeing and enjoying being, in whatever part of the world we were in at the time, because touring internationally, you don't always get the opportunity to check out the sites and to experience these different countries, different cultures. Aru and I always made a point to go out, and even if it was just to like go grab a beer at a pub
Hmm.
or grab dinner somewhere, it didn't always have to be sightseeing, but there's always at least some kind of an experience that we tried to share.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I've heard Aru talk about. I could be wrong, but are you guys like big James Bond fans or something?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah, you listen to it on the
huge.
bus or something, or
Yeah,
watch it? Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I actually
yeah.
have a James Bond tattoos on my fingers. Martinis, girls, and guns.
Oh, that's what. So, what's the best like James Bond? What's your favorite one of all of them? Is that too hard to pick?
Man, I mean,
What's your
everyone
go-to?
always my go-to. Man, I think I'm in love with the Daniel Craig saga. You know, so Skyfall is one of my favorites.
Oh, cool.
And if I'm gonna go older, I'm gonna go with like shoot, man, License to Kill is great. And even if I'm gonna go older than that, I'll go Goldfinger, Thunderball. Not Goldfinger. I can't remember right
That sounds like Austin Powers movie.
now. Yeah, totally. Goldeneye.
Golda. Yeah, man, I gotta check it out. Like I missed a lot of that. So I'll check out Goldeneye
Yeah,
and Goldfinger too. Goldfinger. That's a band too,
it
right?
is. That's what I was like.
Yeah.
Goldfinger. What it is?
That's hilarious. I was watching you guys on YouTube on the Whiskey A Go Go show.
Yeah.
How cool was that? I'm playing there. I mean, was that your first time playing there, or did you play there back in the day?
Oh, we played there back in the day, but even so, man, you kind of have to just sit and like appreciate that this is the stage that so many icons have stepped on, and not take it for granted because I mean, especially in LA, there's not a lot of clubs anymore to play live music, but at least there's still the whiskey, and I feel like myself, like I've grown up in that club, I grew up going there, hanging around outside back in the day, handing out demos or just trying to meet people, sneaking into shows, getting to know the crew, getting into shows, So I just spent so much of my youth there that it's got a special place in my heart for sure. And you know, again, the there are places to play in LA, but not really in Hollywood.
Mhm.
And especially of a size where, one night you can see a special unknown show and Motley Crue's gonna play there.
Oh
And
yeah.
then you'll get like the national acts coming through there, so it's like the size, it's like the perfect size club where it's not going to look like there's not a lot of people there, but it's also not overbearing where you're shoulder to shoulder and can't move in there.
Right.
So it's a cool place to play, and I'm glad that a lot of people still today are like, oh my god, I get to play the whiskey.
Yeah, man. I mean, could you imagine like being young and handing out demos, be like, I'm gonna play on the whiskey, and then it's gonna be on the world wide web. Everybody can see it.
Yeah,
That's such a trip.
yeah. I mean, and then you're sitting in the green room and you're like, wow, man, like Jimi Hendrix was here at one point. Jim Morrison was here at one point. You know,
Oh,
uh,
that's nuts.
it is a lot to take into your thoughts, and then like I said, we forget about that kind of stuff. So I don't take it for granted. I played it quite a few times, and I still enjoy going there.
When you said when you were younger and you were handing out demo tapes, do you collect? I mean, do you still have some of this old stuff? I mean, were you like a hoarder with old?
No, no, even now, like it's like a weird battle I have in my head of getting rid of old stuff. Like I try to have this rule that I haven't looked at it, touched it, used it in a year. I probably don't need it. So
Oh,
either I need to give it away, sell it, or trash it, depending on what it is. So,
wow.
and I know it's bad of me, but I have gotten rid of a ton of stuff. Like I've literally like thrown boxes of things without even looking at it, just because like I don't know what's in here, so I don't need it. They're
Oh
like,
man, it's like a
you know,
surprise box of yeah. You should put
yeah,
people on like the mailing list, like, hey guys, this is a box of I don't know what. Like
how much are you willing to pay for
yeah, how
my?
much you want to bid on it? Because I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I don't know what's in here. Could be good, could be bad, could be trash.
Did you ever play at like the Viper Room? I always say that place is cool.
Never played there.
It's
Saw a
got a
couple
cool
of
history.
there. Don't remember who was there when I saw them, but I've been in there a handful of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never really like, even though it's like across from the whiskey, I was never really a Viper Room guy.
Okay, yeah. That's interesting because I've never been to either one of them, so I don't know if there's like a
Okay,
scene like certain bands play here and other bands play here.
right there, I don't have a clear answer for you on that.
uh, I've got some of your merch here, and I want to say you guys have the best merch. And
Thanks.
I was that guy that bought like 4 or 5 pair of shorts because I was so stoked to the point where I was probably had too many drinks and I started handing out your Lions at the Gate shorts. I was pretty proud of that, man, that night. But
Dude,
look at that.
I love those
Damn.
shorts. And my
Yeah,
my
right?
girl hates them. She hates when I wear basketball shorts.
Why is that?
She hates them. She thinks they're gross. I guess it's like it'd be like I hate Birkenstock sandals. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, right. Me too. I'm on that list. Yeah.
yeah, no, keep them out of here, man. Throw them back in the closet. Put some shoes on.
They're probably great for being on tour though. So comfortable.
You know what? I got everybody to wear the Adidas Adalettes, the Crocs that Adidas makes.
I didn't know Adidas make Crocs. That's
They're like
crazy.
Crocs, but they don't have the what they call it, the 4-wheel drive.
Okay,
The
oh, the little flap. Yeah, I don't.
yeah, it's just kind of like a clog. But I got everybody on those, and those are the most comfortable.
All
Blow
right. Well, I'm
Crocs.
gonna buy one then. Buy a pair then. That sounds awesome.
Get the pink ones, man. I got the pink ones and the white ones.
Okay. Yeah, I may go with the white ones, but I could do pink. Either way.
Gotta rock the pink.
Man, well, while we're talking about merch, because I got this sweet package of all your stuff or some of your stuff, and we got the shirt here, which
Oh, you got the
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 package.
pre-sale. Yeah.
Yes. I almost wore this, and I was like, "Do you wear a band shirt at the show? Do you wear a band shirt at the interview?" I was like, I won't wear it. I'll just hold it up." But what's up with the alternate? Like, there's two covers.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind this? Did you guys have two different album covers you couldn't decide on, or?
It was an idea that I had right in the inception of the artwork, because the photo shoot was so cool, and like the imagery, in my opinion, like it was so stellar. And not just that it was hard to choose, but it would, to me, I thought it'd be really cool to have like, the main album artwork, and then to offer uh, a limited edition alternate cover. And that's because
Yes.
I do like to collect things. Like I collect books, I collect Star Wars figures, stuff like that. Um, so I thought, like, this will be a cool for a collector that is really into the band. And when the band pops off, like literally, there's only 100 of them. We didn't print any more than 100, never will. Um, and I actually bought one myself because I wanted to make sure I had one. But that
Wow.
was it. It was just like the artwork to me was so cool, and I really wanted something special for like diehard fans to be like, oh, I own a piece of the band's history. So it's cool that it's actually the debut album that we had the alternate um, cover art for the album, and,
Extremely
and
cool.
and actually the vinyl is also limited also to
Look at
300.
this.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just
you
said
got it
that.
too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sick, dude. Thank
Got the
you.
red. Yeah, man, of
Oh, it looks so
course.
good, man.
Oh, it looks amazing.
Yeah. Dude, the band's extremely proud of it, man. Like, also with the cover art, like I really wanted it to have like a Renaissance art vibe to it. And so we did the photography, and then the graphic artist really did a good job at making it look like an actual Renaissance painting.
You did great. I love the back too. Look at that.
Thank you, thank you.
Is it hard making vinyl now? Because does it take forever? I know Metallica has their own press that they can do
Yeah.
whatever.
So, okay, here's a little bit of truth, and it's finally going to be exposed. Part of the reason why it took so long for the album to come out is for the vinyl. We didn't want to release the album without the vinyl,
Yeah.
and we didn't want to be like, "Hey, here's the album, buy the vinyl." 8 months later, we really had to. We were calling around the country trying to see who had or how long the waiting list was, and we finally got to the point where I'm trying to remember the name of the company, Hand Drawn Records, I believe. They're like, "Oh, okay, we're down to 8 weeks," and we're like, put us in the queue." And our manager Jonathan, handled all of that, and then that's when we knew, okay, we will have the physical vinyls in hand this date, and this will be the release date of the record now, and we finally have a date that we can finally put out the excuses we cannot make, which almost got ruined at the very very end because we got an email saying, hey, the vinyl's not ready yet, and we're like, we've already been pre-selling, we've already been telling people this is when it comes out. And they made it happen. Also, something happened, and thank God that I don't know if they rushed it or whatever, but it was able to be mailed out like a couple days later after the album dropped.
If that doesn't give you like gray hair, like what does? That's
Oh
so
man.
stressful.
Oh yeah, it's coming in right here, man. I'm trying to hide it, but it's like, yeah, it's starting to come in.
It's gotta fit. Me too. That's where I get it from. Yeah, same
Yeah,
place. Not on top,
yeah,
just right
oh,
there.
yeah, this is fine. It's coming in right here.
Yeah, we're maybe the same age, maybe. I was born in 80.
Me too.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, yeah. We see, there we go, man. Maybe it just starts here and it starts going.
Not happy about it, but there'll come a point where you got to just accept it and then rock it.
I think I'll accept it. Yeah, at least we have hair, right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
got good.
I love the dreads, by the way. Like I'm
Thanks.
such a dread. I'm like, why did Chino cut him off back in the day? Like that really bummed me out when I saw around the fur came out. I was like, where's the dreads? I love his dreads. Is that weird? I don't know. I'm a
I
dread
can't
fan.
imagine myself without them at this point. I thought about cutting them off, and I figured that when I get serious about cutting them off, like I'll know. And so whenever I start thinking like I'm ready to cut them off, like I'll have a dream that I cut them off and I hate it. And I wake up, I still have them. We're good. So then that tells me I'm not ready to let them go.
Dude,
So I
that's
guess
a sign. Yeah.
when I have a dream that says, I feel good about it, that's the day I'll chop them off.
They look so good on stage. Like, do you because yours are super long, and I always think Elias from Nonpoint. I mean, I wonder if there's like some kind of competition. Like, can we Shadows Fall had the dude had super long dreads.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
don't know how long you want yours to get, you know what I mean?
I think mine are, well, they're past my waist, but I think mine are at the point where they're kind of like fraying at the ends and they'll like little bits will break off. I'm not sure if I can get them longer than where they're at now.
Oh yeah, you just got to
I
tap
mean, the
out.
hair is still super thick, but just, I mean, they're 20 years old, I think. So, there's going to be some damage at the ends.
When you guys put out the vinyl, I love that bands are also, and you can make fun of every, this. I love cassettes because I grew up buying cassette tapes, and I'm so glad they're back. When
Yeah.
you guys were doing the round table or whatever, did you guys ever like maybe we should do a cassette tape or nah? I just
Um,
a lot of
it,
bands are doing that now.
it was like a little brief conversation, but I think that the vinyl is just much more, uh, what's the word I'm looking at? It's just more popular. People are really looking at it because they become collector's items. People without vinyl players are buying them, and also since we're, an independent band, we have to look at cost effectiveness as
Mm,
well.
mhm.
And it was just like vinyl itself is pretty, expensive for an independent band to make on their own. So to throw in an extra expense, and then maybe not see the sales results that we're looking for, we'd rather go with the sure bet.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you guys are on tour, do you sell a lot of vinyl at the show?
The next tour will be the first tour we actually have the vinyl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So actually we're so well actually we might not even have that many vinyl left because like I said, we printed 300 and that's also going to be an exclusive 300 run. So I got to find out there. I know there's less than 100 vinyl left and they're at our fulfillment center in Texas. So I got to get on that.
That's great. That's a good problem to have. You're gonna be all out
It
of
is.
it.
It
I
is.
want to that's making me want to bring my vinyl next time I see you guys and get you to sign it. That's my goal.
Dude, please.
I
We'd
have
love to.
zero wall space, but I'm gonna frame it and then.
We'd love to. Man. Thank you for supporting.
No, no, it's great. I saw you guys in Atlanta when you were on tour with what's
Yeah.
her name? Yes.
It's rough.
Yes. How was that? That was awesome.
Dude, I always tell people like that was like one of the easiest tours I've ever done. Like it was literally like Nita's crew was very professional and we'd show up, set up and play. Like there was never drama, there was never any issues. You know, it was just a really smooth tour. And promoters were happy, the crowds are good. Nita was really nice to us. The whole band and their crew was just, you know, overwhelmingly friendly, went out of their way to help us out. And, we're veterans, so we know what to do. We know when we're supposed to show up, but still to have, that kindness stretched out to us, that goes a long way with anybody, so just super smooth, super easy.
Oh, 100%. Did you guys ever like hang out with her and get to hear like stories like of Alice Cooper? And she was the guitar player for
Yeah,
him
yeah,
at one point, right? Did she ever
yeah.
like
No,
uh,
she's a busy woman. Like if she
yeah.
wasn't in the club, she was doing radio interviews. She had her VIP hangouts, which man, she killed it at VIP. She's got a devoted fan base. So I mean, we would get to like hang out and exchange, words every now and then. But she's a busy girl. Good for her, and we're happy that she is that busy.
That probably helps you guys out too. You're opening to a new crowd.
one
People
Hundred
may
percent.
that not even ever heard of you and are just there to see her.
That was one of the coolest comments we heard. Literally, no exaggeration, every night was, hey, we didn't know who you guys were, but we're fans now. And they would come up and buy the merch. The pre-sales of the records, did great. We were lucky that, we hit Billboard as independent artists. And that type
Wow.
of tour are the kinds of tours that we really like to do, enjoy doing, because again, it's a strategic thing. Yeah, it does open us up to a new fan base.
Dude,
So yeah, she's got a
Billboard
lot of yeah.
Billboard on your debut album. I mean, that's crazy.
I was shocked. We were super stoked. And a lot of hard work went into that. Not just the band, but our team, our management team, our booking agents, our PR. Everything had to work simultaneously for us to even scratch that.
I love like it. You mentioned teams, like or you definitely got a great team behind you. Thinking about all these, I was writing all the videos you guys done. I mean, you've done probably maybe even half the album of videos that are out.
Yeah.
I don't know, 4, 5, maybe 5 or 6.
I think it's 6.
That's wild. I mean, that's half the album or whatever, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good push. Are you guys into making videos, or is this something? Is it daunting, or do you look forward to them?
There's parts of it that can be pretty daunting. We enjoy it. We try to have as much fun as possible. Um, I remember the Find My Way shoot with Tatiana. That was like an all day, all night shoot. We were exhausted. By the end of the night, I think we got out of there at like 2 in the morning, and that was getting there, earlier in the day before noon to start setting up, waiting for the pyrotechnicians to come show up, last minute permitting to even have the fire, people flying in, flights getting delayed. Tatiana was kind enough to join us for the video. I remember, yeah, we finished it by around 2 in the morning. We were shot, completely exhausted, and then I felt horrible because our video team still had to stick around and clean up the scene, and we dipped out, and I was like, called Vicente, who's our video guy, and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry we split. He's like, oh, it's all good.
Oh, it's understandable. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we were shot though.
That's
That was,
amazing that you did all that in one day. Like
yeah,
you talking
yeah.
about having people show up and bring all like the fire permit and it in one day that sounds
we
insane to
have
me.
to we have to make the most of our time and resources. Again, being independent. The old saying, time is money.
Yeah.
If we're going over time, that means we got to shell out more money. You know, for the location, for the techs, for the crew. And also our time. We all got stuff to get taken care of. A couple of us own businesses, and we got to get back to work ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, the time is money, so we got to make sure we use it as wisely as possible.
Have you guys done, I know some bands do the multiple videos in one day. Have you guys done that before?
Um, so Bed of Nails and Scapegoat, I think we're done in one day. Both of them were done in one day. Yeah, yeah. I was questioning whether it was done in 2 days, one video each day, but I want to say that both of them were filmed in one day. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a long day for sure. I love when seeing you guys play live though. I love like what do you guys open with? Is it Scapegoat?
We open with Not Even Human.
Yeah, man, that is such a killer song.
Thanks.
Do you ever get tired of playing that as the opening song, or because you can see everybody just kind of getting into it? I mean, it's kind of hard not to,
No,
kind of bob your head to that one.
I don't think we're tired of it. I mean, we've only got this catalog right now anyway, so it's kind of like it feels like a natural show opener right now. I'm sure as we release more music in the future, then the conversation of should we still open with Humans? Should we open with something else? And actually, right now I'm remembering that Scapegoat and Bed of Nails was in 2 days. I'm sorry.
Oh no, no, you're good. That's good. That seems
Uh,
like a really long day too, by the way, having
yeah,
two videos in one day. What's
yeah.
your with this small catalog right now that you guys are doing live, what do you have like a favorite song that never gets old to you playing live? Like you kind of look forward to? Is there one track in particular?
I like
One
all
song?
of them. Right now, I'm really loving playing all of them. Again, we're brand new, and I think because we are like clawing, scratching for every single one of our new fans, that every night is an opportunity to really turn somebody on to the band and change their views. If they're old fans, to be like, well, why aren't you guys doing what you guys used to? It's like, well, we're doing this now. And so far, no one has complained that we don't sound like we used to. And
No.
they like the evolution of us three, and now with our other two band members.
I 100% think it's evolution, and I can't wait. I think I heard Aru talking about like you guys are already working on new material, and maybe Christian mentioned that to me as well.
Yeah,
That's
he wasn't supposed
exciting, dude.
to. He was supposed to keep that quiet, but
Hey, man, I can cut it
yeah, he
out.
got
I'm sorry.
excited. It's all right. It's all in the right now. It's on the inception stages right now.
That's got to
But it's
be
hard.
cool though.
It's also hard as a musician to not work on music. You know,
Yeah, I bet. You
even,
know,
even while we're recording, we're like, oh, this might be good in the future. Write that down. Doesn't
who
fit here.
does who
So,
does most of like the riffs? Like, I mean, do you and like trade off on writing material? I mean, is there a key
we
songwriter?
all do. Everybody brings in ideas. Our producer Kyle Adele is very gracious to help us out as well and bring in material on himself as well. He pushes us really hard. He's quite frank with us at times, and we got to suck it up and you know kill the ego and believe what he's telling us because 99.9% of the time he's right.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, what's that like when you're like you come up with something really cool and you're like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Not so much." That's got to be
Yeah,
pretty tough.
it's the first time was just very like bite my tongue. I'm like, all right, cool, and I think the first record I was just like spitting riffs and spitting riffs and spitting riffs, and then he'd be like, yeah, like you just said, like, no, not so much. Like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Maybe we should change this. Again, it's about squashing the ego, and I always have the best intentions for the music, and I'm open to critiques and criticisms. I'm not the type of person that's like it's got to be this way or no way. I'm not I don't write $1 million hits just yet. So I'm open to any and all suggestions, especially when someone is much more successful than I am.
Yeah. Are you open as much to the bass player and drummer or so much, or do
Oh,
so?
absolutely. Everybody's got an opinion. It's all
Yeah,
valid.
I saw your
Yeah.
bass player, Steven. He looks so cool up there, man. He was in. Was he in a band back in the day with Tommy Vex? I'm trying to remember what band he was from, and I can cut this
It
out.
was a band, it was a band called Westfield Massacre. Yeah.
That's
Wait.
it. I saw them open for Seven Dust back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think that might have been one of his first tours
Oh,
ever.
really?
I think so. I don't know. I could be wrong. Sorry, Steve.
Of all the bands, like even back from El Nino and what you're doing now, is there like any bands back in the day that were your favorite bands to be on the road with?
I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Um, I guess just every tour in itself has something, memorable to take away from. And if there was, even if it was maybe like a negative thing, yeah, every, I try and take every situation as a learning experience and take something away from it to either be better at or be more like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you, man. That's really cool. And another touring question I have to ask is, how do you guys get along I don't know how you tour, like if you guys are on a van or a bus, but I mean, I guess you guys have to set boundaries or like you just pop in your headphones, but how do you stay around somebody in closeness all the time, for lack of a better
Yeah.
word?
I mean, well, we got to respect each other's personal space because
Yes.
not really a lot of it. When you're on tour for a very long time, those lines get blurred just because of either ignorance or you're just trying to create a little bit of drama on purpose to have some fun. Um, Usually it has to do with bodily functions, and
Yeah.
someone who will remain unnamed is usually the culprit.
Yeah.
So he gets yelled at quite a bit about that. But yeah, you got to respect personal space, man. And we're lucky enough that we're traveling in a bandwagon, So if your curtain's closed in your bunk, respect the man's space. Don't go in there because he's sleeping, watching TV, doing something that you don't want to see him do anyways.
Yeah.
It comes down to that. Also, I mean, it really helps to work out on tour. If
Oh, I
we have
bet.
a gym, that really helps out. I mean, there's showers there. Burn off some calories, feel good about yourself. Don't eat each other's food when you're not supposed to. At least ask. We're all kind of like sharing the refrigerator, so got to write your name on everything. And if you're gonna be that jerk that eats somebody's food, well, the whole band's gonna come after your snacks later.
Oh, I bet. Have you seen that YouTube show where they like bus invaders, I think, or something like that? Have you ever been on that before?
We were a long time. I want to say it was during Mayhem, maybe 2014. I think. I could be wrong.
Like, what's the behind the scenes on that? Do they prep you like you're like, all right, we got to clean up
No,
a
they
little bit?
just straight up come in. Like
Okay.
you know they're coming, but then they just come in, and you're like, oh, this is the bathroom.
This is happening right now.
This is where we sleep. This is where we hang out. You know, these are the video games we're playing. Yeah, they just warn you, hey, we're coming. Well, I mean, obviously they get permission from the band first, and then
Yeah.
you
Okay. Yeah. True. I
you'll
interviewed.
see like some episodes where like the band is playing along with a little shtick.
Okay. I saw one that was on a van, and it was really rough. It's like,
And all respect to the dudes, that really make it happen in a van because I don't think I could do it. Again, just
especially getting older, you know.
yeah, especially getting older, and the patience isn't always there. Your legs touching my leg again. I don't think I couldn't handle it, man.
Yeah. I've always heard like the first couple of weeks on tour is kind of like everybody's happy and this,
Yeah,
the team morale's going high. But is that true? Like after the first 2 weeks, then it becomes like the honeymoon's over kind of thing?
yeah. Then you'll notice some people are like hanging out by themselves. Someone
Yeah.
always wakes up really early to find the coffee alone. Someone is always wearing headphones and doesn't want to be bothered. There's the guys who want to just get up and find a shower in a bathroom. Or there's the guys that stay in their bunk as long as possible. Yeah, about 2 3 weeks is the end of the honeymoon, and then everybody goes into their own routines.
I sound like all those guys combined in one. Like I want the coffee, I do. I want the shower.
Yeah.
I think you just described me and all those things. That's cool.
Well, as long as we're all not trying to grab the shower at the same time, I think
Yeah. That's true.
Chris is the one who sleeps in the most because he's resting his voice.
Mm.
I'm usually up early, but then I go back to bed. And then a couple of the other guys, once they're up, and the other ones that are like looking for coffee and looking for places to eat and stuff like that.
When you get off tour, I've always heard it's weird, like trying to come down from that kind of high. Is that true for you when you get off tour?
Um, I think I used to be that way. Not so much now. I think once I'm done on the road, like I'm ready to be home. I got my whole routine here with my businesses and stuff like that, my family and my pets and all that. I'm looking forward to coming home. So yeah, I think I used to be like that, like way back in the day, and there'd be like the an after tour crash where you're just like, oh, I want to go back out because that's what you're just used to. But as we're getting older, we got more responsibilities, different things that we got to take care of. So usually a week and a half, 2 weeks before getting home, I'm already planning what I got to do once I get home. Start, coming up with my schedule and stuff like that.
I got you. When you're at home, do you still play guitar every day, or do you play guitar every day? Like,
No,
you even think about it?
not at all, man. I'll pick it up here and there. I'm usually just slammed once I get home. You know,
Yeah,
but
like
now
adulting.
obviously we have the tour coming up, so I pick it back up. I start going through my reps and rehearsing on my own here at home. But yeah, if I'm gonna be home for an extended time, like I'm not playing guitar every day.
Yeah, I bet. Right. Um, do you ever like want to have your own custom guitar, or ever like do you ever have people hitting you up for that? Like I
No,
see Clint Lowry like with his own. A lot of people. That he's just the first one that came to
yeah,
mind.
I don't deserve a signature series. Um, I don't think I'd want one really.
Really?
Uh, yeah, I'd like a custom guitar. Like I will someday, pay for a custom to be made. But as far like a signature series, I don't think I really deserve one. I'm not really breaking any molds. I'm just a mediocre guitar player that
Nah, man. People love you, dude.
got.
Who are some of your influences, like guitar wise? You have
Dude, I mean, my all-time favorite's always be Carl Santana. If I'm gonna go into the metal realm, you know, I love Stephen Carpenter.
Oh yes.
Um, I love man, I don't know, like drawing a blank right now. Oh, Ramon from Puya. I
Oh
think
yeah.
he's
Yeah, I remember
real
them.
tasty.
Yeah.
You know, he used to live out here in LA, and I'd always chit chat with him. I was trying to coerce him into give me lessons, but then he ended up moving
Uh,
back to Puerto Rico.
you mentioned Stephen Carpenter. I don't know. I think you're a part of that acoustic album you guys did. Il Nino did back in the day, and Zombie Eaters. They were doing it
Oh
with
yeah.
Chino.
That was actually my first recording with the band.
Really?
Yep, that was
Yeah.
my first initial entrance into the band.
Your first entrance into that band was when Chino was, going back and forth with Christian. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was cool. It was a cool experience. Going from just some dumb kid to suddenly sitting in the recording studio, and Chino's there, and being a fan of Deftones, it's kind of surreal, trying to take it all in, and then it's over, and then you're like, I worked with Chino. That was cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wish it was documented or something. I mean, I guess you just gotta go on pure memory. Like, I'm not gonna forget this moment.
There's probably videos and pictures out there. Again, like being just young and naive and dumb, I didn't take any video or pictures myself at the time. Also, it wasn't really, if you think about it, I mean, smartphones weren't that uh, attainable yet. It wasn't like there were camera phones, obviously, but it wasn't like what we have now, where it's just it's right there in your pocket. It was still like when you're measuring megapixels, like, oh, this is 1.5, 2 megapixel camera phone. Now it's phone cameras are better than DSLRs. It's just amazing how fast technology is racing, and it's sitting right here in your pocket.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah,
Back then you're like, it's called MySpace. That's what I have. And they're like, what?
totally. But now, I mean, with Lions, I mean, we're documenting everything. Like
Yeah.
everything has been, documented with photos and videos and stuff, and we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah, and with all these distractions, are you guys? I know a lot of bands want to just keep just doing singles and not releasing a new album. Would you guys ever do that? Just start after this cycle's passed, just slowly releasing songs and maybe not albums as a whole? Or it gets, I still love the albums. I love like when here getting a full album,
Yeah,
like the vinyl pressing.
I feel like it's the industry is kind of like turned upside down in that respect, where you would drop the album, or you would drop 2 singles and then the album, and then you go tour it for a year or a year and a half. And I feel like now bands are starting to drop the single and go on tour, and then dropping another single and go on tour again. And you have some bands that aren't even releasing albums, like Falling Reverse.
Yeah, good point.
And I feel like that's the new model moving forward. I'm also somebody who loves the album, and the way we did it, releasing singles first, was us listening to our team saying, hey, this is the way to do things now. Hearing things like the album is dead. It's a bummer, because I mean, we all come from that era where you look forward to the album. A band dropped 1, 2, maybe 3 singles, and you got the whole thing. Now it's like we dropped 6 singles, and then we dropped the whole album. And by the time the album was dropped, it's almost like the touring is going to be over, and a band's got to start working on new material, because bands are keeping so busy, and there's so much there's just so much there's only so much bandwidth that we all have.
Exactly. It's so much
So
distraction going on.
yeah, so it's like coming home from tour, like, okay guys, let's start writing more music. you know Competition is thick, and all these bands are coming out with just amazing work. And it's almost like intimidating, where we're trying to keep up, and bands are just coming out and just smashing. You look at a band like Spearbox, how much they've blown up, or even like Sleep Token, how fast they've blown up. And it's not to say that these bands weren't around for a while. They've been practicing their craft too, but they're just smashing people over the head with stuff. And other bands like a Wage War, Falling in Reverse, they're not holding up. Papa Roach not holding back. They keep going, 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 going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like if we hit the pause button, we're gonna get lost in the mix.
Yes, yeah.
And even like dropping this album when we did, I was so fearful we would get lost in the mix because there's just so much good music being released, and there's just so much competition because not all the music being released is great. Can't be, but there is a ton of great music out. And like I said, the competition is super thick. And if you're not on top of your game, like working together or working with songwriters, with producers, like you're just going to be left behind. And going back to the ego thing, if you're not ready to hear, hey, that's not a great idea, or that's not, that sounds a little dated, again, you're going to just get left behind. And that's when I said, like, our producer Kyle's really good at letting us know, like, hey, your riffing is a little dated, guys. Time to modernize it a little bit. And not that the album is dated. I feel like it's a real good representation of where Lions at the Gate is going to be moving forward. Whatever comes next is going to be an extension of that, to the X degree.
Well said. And that's cool that I guess you trust Kyle and what he's telling you. You got to get to that level of trust.
Yeah. Well, when the guy has multiple top 10 singles at the same time, he's got something to stand on.
Where's the fun? Like, I guess the fun is playing in front of your fans, right? Because the rest seems kind of daunting, with picking out singles and being on the road.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna completely give our team, our management and booking and everybody involved a lot of props for helping us do that. Because we all can get attached to a song or believe that this one might do better than that one. And then that's where the new strategy of dropping singles really helps out a band, because now we're not just like tied to the first two singles. Now we can keep on going. So again,
Yes.
like I said, props to our team who really helps us with that. And yeah, playing in front of our fans is where we, get the most out of the music. But I like to think that all of us are pretty heavily involved in the behind the scenes stuff. Whether
that's
it's
good. Yeah.
yeah,
All of you
whether
guys.
it's proving merch designs, finding designers, talking to potential sponsors or whatever. Everybody has something to bring to the table, and no idea is a bad idea until it proves itself to be a bad idea.
Well, dude, the shorts that I purchased was a good idea. So that you could just that was a great idea.
I had always I've been wanting our own like gym shorts for a long time. And finally, I mean, it was summer, and man, this was a brutal summer.
It was, right? Yeah.
They arrived, and we saw like how nice they were, and they were champion shorts. We're like, dude, these are sick. And it was funny because like the entire band and crew would be wearing them at the same time. And people would see us walking into a Walmart, everybody's wearing the same shorts. And like, maybe some of us would be like that, man. One big crew. We're walking and taking over a Walmart near you.
Was there like one guy that's like, I'm gonna wear them tonight on stage. I don't care. Like, or was it a rule like you can't wear the shorts on stage?
No, I don't think you'd want to wear them on stage.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, I don't think any of us really wear shorts on stage. We're all wearing.
No, yeah, you can, unless you're Anthrax, but they used to wear shorts. Oh yeah. The shorts threw me off, man. That's funny.
I remember you coming up. You're like, I'll take 5 of them, and I'm like,
yeah.
You like some, or he's wasted?
Oh no, it may be both. It was a combination of both. But you know what? The next day I was like, I bought 5 pairs of shorts. I was pretty happy. I bought the guy behind me a pair.
Dude, and actually, I was kind of secretly hoping we'd have some left over at the outdoor because they're gonna wear out. I have my own pair. They're gonna wear out. I'm gonna want another pair. We sold out of the goddamn shorts, which is a great problem to have. but now it's like we're coming back out and it's fall, winter, we're not going to be pulling the shorts out again. And I'm like,
Sweatpants. No, I'm just
I asked
kidding.
about the sweatpants, and then I was told like, sweatpants don't sell. And I was like, all right, bad idea.
I feel you, man. I think your frontman, Christian, man, I love that dude, and I think he is an amazing frontman. He's full of energy. All you guys are full of energy.
Thank you.
What's it like, kind of him fronting the band and you're behind him? I mean, he has a way of just connecting to the crowd. It's like the
Yeah,
dude is on
I was
fire.
actually I was going to say the same thing. I use the same words. It's like he has this God-given talent of connecting with the crowd. Yeah, and he's speaking from the heart, and he doesn't BS the crowd on tour. He's really just speaking his mind, and it's usually coming from a place of love. Granted, even the past we've had frustrating time on stage where maybe something's not working. Every band has those moments where gear's not working correctly. But we make the best of it. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like Christian 99.9% of the time is always like a positive message, when we're on stage. And I love seeing him get comfortable and get his confidence back, and for a little bit of time. Maybe there were some darker times when we didn't all have that same confidence that we do now, and the times weren't as fun as they were. And I think that reflected in how we played and how we carried ourselves. But now it's like we're having a blast. Uh, this is a very liberating project for us, and we're all just extremely happy to see how this is going, where it's going. And at times it may feel to us, or it may seem to everyone else on the outside, that it's going slow. But if we really take our time and look at it, like we're actually moving forward pretty fast, sometimes uncomfortably fast, which is a good problem to have. But nonetheless, we're really, really excited to be where we're at, to be doing what we're doing. And again, I'm gonna go back to the team, to have the team that we have. It's everything's falling into place. And Steven and I have this conversation quite a bit. Like everything that has happened up into this point, from the past, getting to the inception of the new band, getting to recording, to releasing music videos, tours, releasing the whole album, hitting Billboard. Those have all been, hard work, dedication, but it's all like the pieces are falling together. That's the best way I can put it. And again, independent band debut album hits Billboard. That's awesome.
Amazing.
So again, like thank all thanks to our team, our crew, and to my band members. Without each one of them, like this is not where it's at now.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's incredible. I feel like you guys are like doing this like brick by brick. And when I saw you guys play at the end of the show, you came out to your merch and
Yeah,
to your merch table and you're just meeting fans. Are you guys
yeah,
going to continue doing that?
absolutely. It's like I said earlier, like we're clawing, scratching for every single one of the fans that we can gain,
That's
and
working.
it's working. Yeah, and if you know you don't like us, give us a little bit of a chance and listen to some more songs. You know, I love seeing the people who bought the album are leaving comments on social media saying, like the album didn't disappoint. There's no filler. It's all
There's
good
no filler.
songs. Yeah, like I don't want. I've heard other bands in the past. I've heard, oh, you write your three great songs and the rest are just filler. Like, why would you waste space and time and money on filler?
That's
Like
a
I want
great
all the songs
point.
to be great.
Yeah. When you guys did this album, did you have any songs you cut from the record that didn't make it?
There's a couple that we cut, but they didn't even get to the point where we put lyrics on them. There was one, I don't even remember the name of it. It's in my Dropbox somewhere of demos that we got to the point of, okay, Chris, this is the song, let's start writing melodies and lyrics. And he started writing lyrics and then we started actually recording the vocals, but it just wasn't fitting. It wasn't hitting. And the chorus wasn't matching the verse as far as like the riff goes and leading into the chorus, and it was just becoming more of a headache and it was becoming a very difficult song. And I think everybody at that point made the decision like, put this one on the back burner for now and let's move on. And then the next song that we jumped into was Not Even Human, and we finished that one really quick.
Wow, that was the next one, huh?
Yeah, and not like as soon as we finished Not Even Human, it's funny. Like I said, this is gonna be a great open track. Like this is gonna be the opening of the record. Having
You
not
knew
even,
that then when you heard it,
I
yeah.
knew it immediately.
Oh yeah,
Having not even written the other songs, I knew this would be the opening track. You know,
yeah.
so yeah, there's like a couple songs, and man, some of them didn't even make it out of the demo stage. Uh, I look back at those sometimes, and I'm like, yikes, man, these are nasty. You know, but I'll save them. You know, someday down in the future, like, you know, we might do like a private listening, like check this really bad demo out. You know?
Check this really bad demo. Do you
Yeah.
ever miss like the soundtrack days where you're like, hey, we got this extra song, let's put it on Nightmare versus
Yeah,
Jason, or I don't
I
know,
mean,
you know?
that's a really hard market to crack now. The sync
Yeah,
market.
but do people still do it? I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm stupid. There's probably, just like middlemen, just like everything else. Like, oh,
Yeah,
you want
right.
a song on the soundtrack? Well, you're gonna have to give up X amount of the money, and you know you're gonna have to give us this much, or you got to pay to play. I'm like,
Yeah, those deals are crazy, man.
I'll let management deal with that. Jonathan's great. You know, he'll take care of us, and when those opportunities come, you know, we'll be ready.
Well, man, I'm seriously looking forward to seeing you guys in Atlanta for sure on this next tour, man. I can't
We're gonna
wait.
do the spicy chip challenge.
Oh yes, yes, exactly. I may
I'm,
like be
I'm,
like your
yeah,
bass player. Let me get a little like I'm just kidding. I'll go all in, man. I don't care. I
we'll
may
have
regret it.
that pint of a half and half ready for you.
I may have to film it. You know, that would be
Oh,
awesome.
I'm filming it. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah, good.
I got the GoPro ready to go, man. We're filming
Film me crying at the whole thing, yeah.
it. We'll see
Diego,
if we can
man.
get some of the other bands involved in it. Some of the guys from Lacuna Fear Factory.
Oh yeah, dude. You should do it like on stage, you know, where people can witness you crying, you know.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry.
Oh yeah,
I'd
yeah,
like,
you don't
like
cry. Yeah,
I don't know. The three people that cried were Fern, Aru, and Steven. I held it.
yeah. You're crying at watching people cry.
I was crying of laughter. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, crying for laughter. Dude, thank you so much for doing the Zoom interview with me, man. This is
Thank you
a
for
lot
having me.
to me.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun too, man. And I look forward to seeing you guys, man.
Hey, I'm holding you to it, man.